Okay, in the previous lecture, we have started about the ear. We have seen the external ear, the outer ear, middle ear, and the inner ear. Okay, we have seen the auricular pinna, external acoustic meatus. Okay, we have seen about the external features. Okay, about its nerve supply, about the blood supply, lymphatic drainage. Okay, related to applied anatomy of the external ear. Okay, about the Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Second, we have seen about the external acoustic meatus. Okay, we have described its blood supply, its applied anatomy. Okay, but now we have seen about the tympanic membrane. Okay, this is a short note. You have to write down about this point whenever it asks in exam. Okay, about its features, about its arterial supply. Okay, about its examination. Okay, today we are going to learn about the middle ear. Middle ear is also called the tympanum or the tympanic cavity. Okay, these are the synonymous word for the middle ear. Okay, we will see about these points. Okay, these are the objectives: introduction, size, shape, measurement, communication, content, subdivision, boundary, ear ossicles, muscles of the middle ear, tympanic plexus. Okay, related to its blood supply, nerve supply, lymphatic drainage, and the applied anatomy. So this is a middle ear. So it is narrow, slit-like air-filled cavity within the petrous part of the temporal bone. Okay, so this is the tympanic part, and this is the petrous part of the temporal bone. So this is the middle ear. This is a tympanic membrane. So up to here, it is an external acoustic auditory canal or external acoustic meatus or the canal. Okay, here this is the middle ear, and after that this is the inner ear. Okay, so today we will discuss about the middle ear. Okay, about the size, shape, and the measurement. So here it is like a cube. The middle ear is like a cube. Here you can see it's like a cube compressed from side to side. In coronal section, okay, it resembles a biconcave disc-like red blood cell. Okay, the middle ear is shaped like a cube compressed from side to side. So here, what is the vertical diameter? Okay, it is around the 15 millimeter. Anteroposterior diameter, it is around the 15 millimeter. Transverse diameter 6 millimeter. In the center 2 millimeter, and at the floor it is 4 millimeter. Okay, so this is about the diameter or the measurement of the middle ear. Okay, if we talk about the communication of the middle ear, so we are looking from the above. This is the anterior aspect, and this is the posterior aspect, and this is the middle ear. So anteriorly, it is communicate with the auditory tube. We have discussed auditory tube that open into the nasopharynx, and posteriorly into the mastoid antrum or the mastoid air cell in the mastoid antrum. So these are the communication. So here, okay, this is the middle ear or the tympanic cavity. Anteriorly, it communicates with the auditory tube, and the posteriorly, it communicates with the mastoid antrum through the adductus to the antrum into the mastoid air cells. Okay, this is all called the mastoid antrum. Okay, so here, okay, assume this shape. So it is like a gun. Okay, so here this is the auditory tube. Okay, here you can see this is the auditory tube, and here the posteriorly this is the mastoid process, or the mastoid air cell in the mastoid antrum, and this is adductus to the mastoid antrum. Here this is a middle ear. Okay, so this is the middle ear. So it acts as a middle ear. Okay, and the handle, that is this is the handle. This is act as a mastoid antrum. Okay, so here you can see it act as a, okay, so here it resembles the shape of a pistol. Okay, so this is the communication of the middle ear. This trigger, okay, this is the trigger of the pistol is a tympanic cavity. Okay, so this is a middle ear. What are the contents of the middle ear? So main thing is that it is an air filled cavity. Air outside the mucous line. Here there is a ear ossicles, malleus, incus, and the stapes. Two muscles, tensor tympani muscle and the stapedius muscle. Okay, now there is a cauda tympani, branch of the facial nerve, and the tympanic plexus, that is formed by so many nerves, and one of the nerve is a glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, we will see what are the vessels in the middle ear and in the ligament. So these are the contents of the middle ear. Okay, if we see the subdivision, okay, so this is a epitympanum. Okay, this is a mesotympanum, and this is a hypotympanum. Okay, so these are the subdivisions you can see in the middle ear. Okay, in this figure also you can see this is a epitympanum. Okay, this portion is a mesotympanum, and this portion is a hypotympanum. Okay, these are the subdivision of the middle ear. So here in the epitympanum, or it is also called the attic. Okay, above the tympanic membrane containing the head of malleus, body, and the short process of the incus. We will discuss about the bone. Mesotympanum, this is a mesotympanum. Opposite the tympanic membrane containing the handle of malleus. Okay, here this is the handle of malleus. Long process of the incus. Okay, this is a long process of the incus, and it is the narrowest part of the middle ear. Okay, this is a hypotympanum. About the hypotympanum, the hypotympanum part below the tympanic membrane. Okay, this is a hypotympanum. Okay, so this is all about the subdivision of the middle ear. This is epitympanum, mesotympanum, and the hypotympanum. Okay. Now we will see the boundaries of the middle ear. Okay, this figure also you can draw, or another simple figure is also there. Okay, this figure and this figure also you can draw. So here we can see this is a roof, this is the floor. Okay, here this is the lateral wall and this is the medial wall. Okay, this is the anterior wall and this is the posterior wall. Okay. So first we will discuss about the roof. Okay, so this is the roof. So here this roof is also called the tegmental wall. So about the tegmental wall, why it is called the tegmental wall? So it is formed by the thin plate of bone called the tegment tympani. Okay. So this is about the roof, that is the tegment tympani. It separates the middle ear from the middle cranial fossa. Now second, floor, also called the jugular wall, contains the bulb of internal jugular vein. The floor is formed by the thin plate of bone which separates the middle ear from the superior bulb of the internal jugular vein, and this part is formed by the part of the temporal bone. Anterior wall, here it lies the carotid artery, internal carotid artery, so it is also called the carotid wall. So here the anterior wall is narrow due to the approximation of the medial and the lateral wall, so it is very much narrow. Okay, so this is the portion here in the middle part has the opening of the auditory tube. Here you can see the bony septum. Here this is the bony septum between the canal for the tensor tympani. Okay, this is the canal for the tensor tympani, and this is the auditory tube. Is continued posteriorly on the medial wall as a curved lamina called the processus. This is the processus. Cochlea formis. Its posterior end forms a pulley around which the tendon of tensor tympani turns laterally to reach the upper part of the handle of malleus. Okay. So this is the processus cochlea formis. Okay. This is about the anterior wall. Now comes to the posterior wall. Posterior wall is also called the mastoid wall. Here there is a opening adductors to the antrum that we have discussed. Posteriorly it open, it communicate with the mastoid antrum. Okay, here in the vertical there is a facial canal is there. Okay, the facial canal is also there. A conical projection called the pyramid. Okay, it is also there, and it has an opening at its apex for the passage of tendon of the stapedius muscle. Okay, these are the structural lines. That is the adductors to the antrum in the mastoid antrum. Vertical there is a facial canal and the pyramid. Now comes to the lateral wall. It is also called the membranous wall. Okay, mainly formed by the tympanic membrane. Here we can see the tympanic membrane. Here there is also the two bone, that is the malleus and the incus. Okay, this is the cauda tympani nerve. Okay, there is a canaliculus for the cauda tympani nerve, and the pictotympanic fissure is also there. Now the medial wall. Okay, so many structures are present in the medial wall. So in the medial wall, this is a promontory, that is written as a PM. That is a promontory is a rounded bulging produced by the first turn of the cochlea. Okay, so this promontory, what is promontory? So it is formed by the first turn of cochlea, and it is grooved by the tympanic plexus. Okay, so here the tympanic plexus, that is one of the nerve that is formed by the glossopharyngeal nerve. This is a round window and this is the oval window. Okay. Okay, this is the sinus tympani. Is a depression behind the promontory and opposite the ampulla of the posterior semicircular canal. So this is a sinus tympani. This is the oval window. This is round window. This is promontory, and this is the tympanic plexus. Here some of the portion, that is the oblique part of the facial canal, is also present in the medial wall, and the prominence of the lateral semicircular canal is also there. Okay, so this figure you can draw whenever asked in the middle ear. Okay, the infection of the middle ear is called the otitis media. Okay, it is commonly affect in the infants or the children. Okay, sometimes the pus is also coming out. Okay, that is called the chronic suppurative otitis media. Okay, sometimes the middle ear infection is done by the mostly the infection from the throat or the upper respiratory tract through the auditory tube. Okay, if the middle ear infection spread, then it also leads to the acute mastoiditis and the mastoid abscess through the posterior wall, Meningitis and also the temporal lobe abscess may occur. If there will affect the roof, and the lower motor neuron type palsy will occur if it involves the facial canal, and the sigmoid sinus thrombosis occur when it affects the floor, labyrinthitis when it affects the medial wall, and the cerebellar abscess will take place when infection spread too far posteromedially. Okay, these are the complications of the middle ear infection. Okay, that you have to be in mind that this type of the complication can take place. Okay, the ear, about the ear ossicles, these are the malleus. Okay, it is also called the hammer in Latin, having the head, neck, anterior process, lateral process, and the handle, also called the manubrium. These are incus, also called the anvil, short process, this is body, long process, and here this is a lentiform nodule, and here it is a stapes. So here one joint and another joint is here. Stapes, also called the stirrup. Okay, having this is the head, neck, foot plate. Okay, so these are about the ear ossicles. About the ear ossicles, okay, these are at the birth, they are of the adult size, that you have to remember. Here there is a two joint, incudo-malleolar joint. It is a saddle variety of the synovial joint, and incudo-stapedial joint. This is a ball and socket type of the synovial joint. Muscles of the middle ear: tensor tympani, stapedius, origin, insertion, nerve supply, and the action. Okay, we have already discussed about the tensor tympani muscle. Okay, this is a origin from the cartilaginous part of the auditory tube. Insertion, here you can see the insertion, upper end of the handle of malleus over the medial aspect. Nerve supply, mandibular nerve, tenses the tympanic membrane. Stapedius, okay, this muscle stapedius, it arises from the posterior wall of the tympanic cavity, and it is going to insert over the posterior aspect of the neck of stapes, supplied by the facial nerve. Sometimes MCQ is asked, nerve supply of the stapedius, that you have to write down the facial nerve. What is the function or the action? Draws the stapes laterally, thus tilting its foot plate to the oval window. Okay, this is about the muscles of the middle ear. About the applied anatomy, first is a hyperacusis. It is an abnormal sensitivity to sounds resulting in pain or the discomfort. Both. Okay, so these are the cause, that is hyperacusis. Okay, so paralysis of the stapedius muscle result into the hyperacusis. Okay, ear pain, also called the otalgia, feeling of fullness, tinnitus, stress, and the phonophobia. Second is the otosclerosis. Okay, this is a abnormal ossification of the annular ligament. Okay, or the foot plate of the stapes. Okay, there is a conduction deafness will take place, and in adult it is a conductive deafness due to the otosclerosis. About the arterial supply, there are so many arteries. Okay, so here from the maxillary artery there is a two branch, from the middle meningeal artery, from the internal carotid artery there is a tympanic branch is also there. Okay, so here from the ascending pharyngeal artery there are the branch from the posterior auricular artery. Okay, and there will be a from the, okay, these are the arterial supply. So from these branches it supplies the middle ear. About the nerve supply. Okay, tympanic branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve, it also takes place in the formation of the tympanic plexus, superior and inferior corticotympanic nerves. Okay, facial nerve, that is the coratympanic nerve, and the mandibular nerve. Okay, that supplies the tensor tympanic muscle. Okay, so these are the nerve supply to the middle ear. Okay, about the lymphatic drainage. Okay, preauricular and the retropharyngeal group of the lymph node. From there, it going to the parotid group of the lymph node and to the deep cervical group of the lymph node. Okay, these tympanic plexus on the promontory that is formed by the glossopharyngeal nerve, it's called the tympanic branch, is called the Jacobson nerve. Branch from the facial ganglion, that is a geniculate ganglion, and superior and inferior corticotympanic nerve, that is derived from the sympathetic plexus around the internal carotid artery. Okay, the tympanic plexus supplies the mucous membrane of the middle ear, mastoid hair cell, and the bony Eustachian tube. The Leser Patterson nerve derived from it contains secretomotor fiber of the glossopharyngeal nerve to supply the parotid gland via the otic ganglion. Okay, referred pain sometimes is there. Okay, since the middle ear and the external ear are supplied by the branches of trigeminal, glossopharyngeal, and vagus nerve, the pain in the ear, that is called the otalgia, is often referred to the other areas supplied by this nerve, that is on the tongue, teeth, tonsil, and the pharynx. Okay, mastoid antrum. So this is the mastoid antrum. We have discussed about the mastoid antrum. Okay, that contains the mastoid air cells in it. Okay, we also know the posterior wall, that is the adductus to the antrum, and it open into the mastoid air cell. Okay, in this figure also you can see the mastoid air cell. This is the mastoid process, the tympanic cavity, posterior wall that open into the adductus to the mastoid antrum and into the mastoid air cell. Sometimes there will be a collection of the pus in the mastoid antrum, and there is mastoid air cell. This is the mastoid abscess. Okay, so here we have described about the suprameatal triangle, also called the Meesmann triangle, that is formed by superiorly by the supramastoid crest. Here this is posteriorly a line, a tangent line across the posterior margin of the external acoustic meatus, and anteriorly the posterior margin of the external acoustic meatus. Okay, so from here we can encroach into the mastoid air cell or the mastoid antrum. Okay, this is important for the surgeon. Okay, so this is all about the middle ear. Next time we will see the inner ear. Thank you so much.